Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. You know, you can swim with the whales for free, but swimming with the sharks will cost you an arm and a leg. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Invincible, the hero building game from Direwolf.
Ancient Greek mythology to Roman lore as well. There's a creature kind of creepy, but he's got some sex appeal. He's standing 9'7", and you'll never hear him talk. He's only got one eye, but he really likes to rock. They say he burned up till his dance, so what if he did? Now face of judgmental about the Cyclops kid. He's got a tiny temper and an itty bitty fuse. If you're the one who lit it, then you're probably gonna lose. Mysterious and mighty with a really killer mind. Listen up, okay, I'll make it weapon for the guy. They say, yeah, baby, so what if he did? Now face of judgmental about the Cyclops kid.
Invincible, a hero building game from Direwolf, is based upon the TV series. Invincible is a brand new superhero. His father is Omega Man, the greatest superhero of them all. But when it turns out that most of the superheroes got slaughtered, it's up to Invincible and his buddies to step up to take on the world's enemies. Now, this is a bag building game. Each player is going to get their own player board there with their own kind of powers and abilities on it. They're going to get kind of a starter card with some starting powers. You're going to get your own bag with several cubes. You're also going to lay out kind of 3 locations on the board. Players are also going to place a number of black cubes into their bag. They're also going to have other cubes available to them as the game progresses. Now, the 3 locations will also have a number of civilians. Some of them will be kind of safe, others of them will be in danger. Now, the villains, when they attack, they're going to attack any heroes that are in that location. But if no heroes are there, they're going to bypass them, obviously. They're going to go and attack the civilians, and you don't want to lose civilians in this game. Now, for every game, you have a scenario. This is an episode with one of the supervillains in it. And what you are going to do is at the beginning of every round, save the first, you're going to advance that to the next level. And this is going to say exactly how the villain is going to attack. You're going to have event cards that are going to come out, but you may also have some other surprises and nasty things will happen that will attack the heroes or the civilians on the game board. Next, you have the hero phase. So essentially, as I say, the players will have cards, and they'll get more cards in front of them on their player board as they play the game. You can have one card kind of per color or area of your game board. These represent, as I say, different kinds of powers. Well, what you do is essentially you reach into your bag and you pull out 3 cubes. Now, with these cubes, you can go ahead and use them to activate powers to allow you to do different things. You can deal damage to the enemies you have around you. You can rescue bystanders or other heroes. More on that in a minute. You can move the bystanders to the safety zone when you rescue them. But then also you can kind of bank some so that you can buy cards later. There's different kinds of things you can do with the different colored cubes as they come out. Critically, however, you're pulling out black cubes as well. Now, black cubes are good and they're bad because they come out and they're good. They're wild. You can place them anywhere. Black cubes can be used for anything. But as soon as you pull out your 5th black cube, you crash. Essentially, you're knocked over and you're in danger. If another hero can rescue you before the end of the round, you're going to be okay. If you're not rescued, you're going to take some serious damage. So you really want to make sure that you don't leave your friends hanging here. Next, you've got the training phase, and this is essentially where we're going to learn new powers. You're going to have a hand of cards, and if you can, kind of pay the cost there, you can go ahead and add those cards so you'll become more powerful in the next round. You can also gain cubes of certain colors by discarding cards of that color. You can actually gain those cubes and put them into your bag for the next round. So that's an important way, not only, as I say, of learning new abilities, but also of strengthening your bag so that you'll have more options, hopefully, before you'd crash by drawing a 5th black cube. Now, at the end of the phase, you're going to take all of your cubes, you're going to put them back in your bag, and you're going to draw your hand up to 5 cards. Now, next, you're going to have the villain phase. Now, like I said, at the beginning of the round, some bad things are going to happen. Minions are going to come out. You may have events. But here is where the villain really starts to attack you. He is going to attempt to, as I say, either attack the heroes on the board or attack the civilians where they're not protected. Now, after the villain phase, you're going to go ahead, go back to phase number one. You're going to advance the episode. Now, each episode has specific victory conditions on it, but there are always ways that you can lose the game. For instance, if ever a total of 15 civilians die, then the heroes collectively lose. If ever the heroes are knocked out a total of 3 times, meaning they lose all their health 3 times in the game, they lose. If ever all the civilians in one section of the game area, in one section of the game boards, if they all die, then the heroes lose. And if the heroes run out of time, essentially, if they haven't won by the time the turn track gets to the end, the round track gets to the end, then once again they lose. But as I say, if the heroes are successful in meeting the specific scenario objective, then they win. Invincible, the hero building game. We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review. So I had never seen the TV show that this was based on. And sometimes it's hard going into a game when you just don't know what the IP is, right? Sometimes it can be nice because you're not thinking, oh, I really want to like this game because of the IP. But generally, it can be kind of because I don't know what's going on. But so I went into this just kind of thing. It's a generic superhero game. I think Ray and some of the other guys had seen it. I had not. Well, we started playing the game, and first of all, I was intrigued. I thought it sounded interesting. I actually subsequently have gone and watched, I think about 4 or 5 episodes. I'm sure I'll finish it up. But it's a pretty fun show. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I've been enjoying it. We played the game, and of course, it's a cooperative game, and I'm always a fan of cooperative games. And this game felt very. It kind of reminded me of Sentinels of the Multiverse. If you ever played that game back in the day, which is a cooperative game of superheroes battling villains. A little bit more to this one, but it kind of got that vibe. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of little rules I'm not even really getting into here in my rules overview. I'm just giving you the bare basic bones here. But I really was intrigued with the bag building element of this game with the cubes, and there's a real push your luck element every turn because there's so many things you want to do. But when you pull out your third black cube, it's like, oh, do I want to risk it? And then if you got a fourth black cube, it's like, I don't want to crash. I don't want to crash. So you like pull yourself back from doing further and maybe doing some more things you could do. I really liked that. I thought that was just really fun. I liked too the training aspect of the game. I liked how during the hero phase you're kind of banking some I think your orange cubes to buy stuff, and so when you go, you can actually buy the cards. You know what cards you've got potentially to buy from, so you can kind of be planning ahead to actually buy those cards and add those to your thing, and which cards maybe you want to get rid of to get cubes in that color. So it's really cool the way they kind of the different phases of the game kind of feed into each other there. I like that quite a bit. But it's a hard game. It's a merciless game. It attacks you, and it's tough putting yourselves in putting your characters in between the civilians and the villains every round. It's tough, and it's a punishing game. It's a very punishing game, particularly as you get further along. I think also this is I think it's a great looking game. I think the aesthetic here is really good. The artwork and the animation here, such as it is, from the animation, is really good. I really enjoyed that aspect of it too. So it did a good job, having not even being familiar with the IP, of kind of dragging me in, bringing me in, and making me feel like I'm part of this team and I'm part of these characters. It was interesting though, playing Rexplode and not really realizing what a jerk he was until I saw the show. But it's good. Like I say, I think between the mechanics and the aesthetic here, I think it's a fun cooperative game. I think, frankly, it's excellent. I think it does just an outstanding job with the bag building here. This is a good one. Really enjoyed it. I think maybe because the game is so punishing, and because the enemies come at you and come at you, and it kind of, I don't want to say it feels samey, but you do kind of feel like from episode to episode you are kind of doing some of those same things again and again. That kind of prevented me from absolutely falling in love with this game. I really liked it. I'm gonna give this one 7.5. I'll say 7.5. I think is a fair summation of my feelings here on this game. Really fun. I'd have, if somebody wanted to play this one, I'd absolutely have no problem pulling this one off the shelf. This is Invincible, the bag building game, and I'm going to say a 7.5. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We'd ask you to please give us a thumb and subscribe to us here on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook. We would really appreciate it. We'd also very much appreciate it if you would give us a thumb on Board Game Geek as well. If you really like what we do here, please check out my other channel. That is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, military history, books on history, stuff like that. It would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to that channel as well. And if you do really like the content we bring to you here on The Discriminating Gamer, I would humbly ask you to click on the Super Thanks button and leave a tip. I've recently been studying the effects of marijuana on seabirds. I've left no turn unstoned.
He fought Kronos, the mighty Titan, in a battle most exciting. Made a trident for Poseidon, and helped make Zeus his bolts of lightning.
He wants that point.
I want that point.
He got screwed out of his victory last time.
I spent 6 spice for that.
for that second place?
Yeah.
It's so funny because I'm thinking, I'm totally waiting to see, I'm doing the math in my head, I'm waiting to see how many cards you...
6 spice I spent on that victory.